From the earliest days of human civilization, power has never remained in one place for long. Across thousands of years, kingdoms have risen, empires have expanded, and mighty nations have fallen, each leaving its mark on the story of humanity. Our journey begins more than 5,000 years ago in the fertile lands of the ancient river valleys, in the region known as Mesopotamia. Between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, some of the first great civilizations emerged. Here, powerful kings united city-states and formed some of the earliest empires. Among the first to dominate the known world was the Akkadian Empire, founded by Sargon of Akkad around 2334 BC. For the first time in history, a ruler controlled vast territories under one centralized authority. This marked the beginning of imperial rule. But power would not remain there for long. Centuries later, the center of power shifted again to the mighty Neo-Assyrian Empire. Known for its powerful army and advanced administration, the Assyrians controlled much of the Near East and ruled through strength and organization. Eventually, a new power rose from Persia. The Achaemenid Empire became one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, stretching from Egypt to India. It connected cultures, trade routes, and peoples across vast distances. Then, a young king from Macedonia would change the course of history. Alexander the Great led his armies across 3 continents, conquering Persia and spreading Greek culture from Greece to Egypt and into Asia. His empire, though short-lived, reshaped the ancient world. After Alexander's empire fragmented, another giant rose in the west, the Roman Empire. At its age, Rome ruled vast lands across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Roman law, engineering, and governance would influence civilizations for centuries. But even Rome could not rule forever. By the 5th century, the empire weakened and eventually collapsed in the west. Once again, global power shifted. In the centuries that followed, new powers emerged across different regions. The Islamic caliphates expanded rapidly, spreading influence across the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe and Asia. Then, in the 13th century, one of the largest empires in history was born. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire swept across Asia and into Europe. The Mongols created a vast network that connected the East and West through trade and communication. As centuries passed, global power began to move toward Europe. During the Age of Exploration, European nations sailed across the oceans, discovering new lands and establishing colonies across the world. Among these colonial powers, none became larger than the British Empire. At its peak in the early 20th century, the British Empire controlled territories on every continent. It ruled nearly a quarter of the world's population and territory. But the world was about to change again. The devastation of World War I and World War II weakened the old empires and reshaped global politics. Colonial nations began gaining independence, and new global powers emerged. After the Second World War, the world entered a new era dominated by 2 superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. For nearly half a century, these 2 nations competed for global influence in a tense political struggle known as the Cold War. Then, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. For a time, the United States stood as the world's most powerful nation. Today, the balance of global influence continues to evolve. Nations such as China, India, and others are shaping a new global landscape where power is shared among multiple centers. The story of world rulership, therefore, is not the story of one empire ruling forever. It is the story of shifting power of civilizations, rising, flourishing, and eventually giving way to the next. History teaches a clear lesson. No empire lasts forever, and the balance of power is always changing.